Hey, what is up everybody, and welcome to another video. And in today's video we're going to be having a bit of a lesson on what not to do and what to do. I'm not an expert by any case, I'm just learning from my subscribers, which thank you all for that. But we're also going to be seeing carnage. We're going to be talking about good things, bad things, and we're going to watch one of my races, which is what gave me the idea, because I was sort of like, well, I should be doing that better, and I'd done that quite well and all the rest of it. So I thought, hey, why not pass on a little bit of knowledge that I've gained through other people and also learnt myself, and pass it on to someone starting out in iRacing. So without further ado, here's the video. Okay, so first thing I'm going to say is you need to get a really good launch. There are plenty of things in order to enable you to get a good launch. You can test your time reactions. As you can see, I'm now first going into the first corner, and I was considerably slower than that guy on the in qualifying. And don't forget that your tyres and your brakes are going to be cold, hence this happens. So in the top right hand corner we can see that he's gone off. He then rejoins and ends up taking out 3 cars. Well, 2 cars, sorry, and himself. And that's all because his tyres were too cold, he understeered, went off, and then everything went wrong. So I've made a mistake on this corner, which enabled this guy to get ahead of me. So I'm now going to stick in his draft. And that's another thing that's very important, is just keeping their draft. And now I'm going to make him think I'm going for a lunge. I'm going for a Verstappen dive bomb. However, I'm not, and I'm braking early, and that now puts him out of shape for this corner, which now puts me side by side. I now go over wide to make him think I'm going to try and hang it on the outside, brake early, come back, puts me on the inside, and I get the switch back. Job done. So, a little bit of advice is to just get your racecraft, you know, learn a few techniques. You're not going to have all this straight away. This is what you learn on track with other people and seeing what works, and also watching other people. I watch a lot of my subscribers because they've got their own channels and they race quite regularly. And you pick up little things as well. I mean, if you're racing on here, you're probably a motorsports enthusiast, so you're probably going to have watched quite a few in real life races as well as a few esports. But it'll give you all the techniques you need. So I'm now still playing it a little bit safe, because iRacing did say that the tyre model for this, usually they're up to grip within a lap. So they're up to temp. Obviously your brakes are up to temp. I usually find it's a 3rd lap that you can really start pushing. But the problem is that because I'm being careful, I'm not pushing it as hard into the corners, which is why I'm missing going, in, out, in on the corners. So in, hit the apex, out wide, in, and then come out wide again. We'll see that in a second, going through a few other corners. But as you can see, I've got quite a gap. And I was going to say, if I'm right, the white car behind has just pulled a move on into 2nd place. And this guy is fast. He does not make a mistake. And he chases me down rapidly. As you can see, I went a little bit too wide there, which then put me out of sorts here, and I should have been a little bit more onto that curb, like that white car and the red car. Again, with that corner, I should have been a little bit wider on the exit, keeping my apex speed up a little bit. So I actually over-braked going into that corner, slowed down. I'm still learning trail braking. I'm getting better, but I'm not 100%. As you can see here, so the back end slid round, and if I'd got that right, which I do get right on a couple of laps, you actually don't have to turn the steering wheel as much. And that's something that's quite big that my subscribers have noticed about my driving, is I put too much steering input into the corners, which scrubs your tyres, which means you get a lot of drop off towards the end of the race. Bit like this corner, bit like that corner there. I should have been a little bit wider, and not as wide as that guy though. You don't want to get your tyres dirty, obviously. because you will end up just having dirty tyres, understeering, and everything else. So again, I'm now trying to push the car a little bit, and I pushed it a little too hard going into there, nearly lost the back end under braking, and now I've been put out of sorts. So we should be able to see that the white car's now going to close in on me quickly. And I'm starting to notice this. And this is where I end up making mistakes because of one simple fact that we all do as racers in our very early days, which is we get racy. Okay, we don't want to lose position, especially when you're in first. You're like, yes, you know. So you got to try and keep your head, and I demonstrate this perfectly in next lap or a couple of laps time. So I've sort of reined myself in a little bit now. I'm still pushing the car, but I've said to myself, right, keep your head, just concentrate, hit your markers, and make sure you get everything right. There you go. So look, I've managed to get the back end to come round, which has brought the front round nicely for me, because obviously all the weight's on the front tyres, and I've been able to accelerate out there, which if I hadn't have done, this white car would have caught me going down straights. There I am just trying to break the toe, so I'm just trying to make him have to work for the draft rather than just give it to him for free. There we go, that's a bit better. So that was nearly where I should have been. But my apex speeds are now coming up, and I took too much curve there, which puts me out of sorts and allows the white car to come through. Now, big point here is I knew he was going to try and make a move, so I gave him space. Give each other space. It is so important to give each other space. He then makes a mistake because I think he thought I was just going to suddenly cut across him, and he ends up taking to the grass, which allows me to hang it on the outside for around him and regain my place. But again, he's going to get me on this straight. I have not got a big enough gap for him to not be able to overtake me going into the next corner, because obviously this long straight. So there he goes. He's going to go make a move. He hangs back a little bit because I think he thinks I'm going to cut across, but he goes from the last corner. I'm not. So I try to switch back. No way am I getting the switch back from that. Just trying to keep with him, being very mindful of the red car as well, because obviously he's been brought into the mix where we're battling. I lose the back end a little bit too much there, which gets the red car into this battle even more. So now I'm trying to fight the white car to get ahead and also defend against the red car. Not an easy combination, but now it's all about just trying to keep with the white car so that I'm in contention, keep the draft so he can keep me out of trouble from the red car. And again, I'm now starting to try and concentrate on too many things. I'm losing my head, and therefore I am making mistakes. Which is why I say you need to keep your head about you. So now I'm now just trying to remember to hit all my points. Get nice and wide there, that's perfect. Apex speed, nice and high, coming out of the corner. The old adage of slow in, fast out is true. And he actually makes a little bit of a mistake, which causes me to have to slow down and make a mistake, which then puts the red car well and truly alongside me. And obviously he's going to opt to go for the first place's draft. First place realises this, pulls out the way to give me the draft so that me and him can battle, keeping his position safe. The trick I tried earlier on in the laps didn't work. He knows my tricks now, so he's just like, yeah, no chance, mate. I'm not falling for that one, and I can't get the switch back on him. Which in turn has now made me drop back a bit. So you've got to keep trying these things, but obviously sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Oh, the white car's made a little bit of a mistake there. Probably caught the curb. Lost the rear wheels a little bit. So the red car is now, number 5 is now in first place, being chased by both of us. I'm now sticking to this white car like glue. I want all the draft I can get from him. He's going to go defensive, pull back in at the last minute, so he can keep his line through here. The white car is going to try hang it round on the outside, I think, and then get the switch back onto the left, but he can't because I'm there. Now, I had a decision to make. I could have kept my foot in, but 3 into 1 doesn't really work. And now he blinks, and I don't know where he is, at which point I rammed him. Because I thought, oh, well, he was moving over to the left, so potentially he's not going to be in my way. And he was, unfortunately. I couldn't see him. I couldn't see what he was doing, couldn't see if he was braking or not. So I did, unfortunately, give him a little tap. And coming down over here, so he tries to cut in across me. I'm not sure if he's aware, if he's on single monitor or what, but yeah, unfortunately he does give me a little tap, whether that's a tap back, and I get too racy and end up binning it. Now this brings us on to another immediate thing: hold your brakes. Okay, if you crash, hold your brakes. Unless you're on the racing line and you can roll forwards, that's fine. And make sure your exits are clear. And if they're not, get off the racing line immediately. You do not want to hold up anyone else's race. It's not your, it's not their fault. It's your problem. You crashed. You've got to rejoin safely. And don't ruin anyone else's races. Obviously, if this was real life, if you rejoin unsafely, you'd be called in front of the stewards and told you're a very naughty person. So we've now dropped from 1st to 3rd to 7th, I believe. So now this is all about just trying to race clean now. I think I've got 4 or 6x now, incident points. You can only get 17 of those, and if you hit 17, you're disqualified. But obviously this has an effect on your safety rating and your I rating, which if you watch some of my other videos, I give tips on how to gain those back nicely and sensibly while still having fun. So now I'm just, now it's a case of, right, I've got to race clean because I don't want any more incident points. I've got to, and I want to make up another place. That's my goal, that's my 2 goals. So now that I've calmed down, I've got my head back in the game. I'm now going to push the car, hit my markers, and see where we get to. I know my tyres are holding on quite nicely because they are gripping nicely round all the corners. And it sounds horrible, but I know I'm faster than the car in front. Actually, I know I'm faster than the majority of them because we all set a qualifying time, and quali times are very different to your race times. But your race time will always be slightly slower. Unless you've got nice clean air. But in quali, obviously you don't care about your tyres, you don't care about anything, you're literally just pushing that car as fast as you can to get around in faster times, qualify as far as you can. In the race, obviously, you've got X amount of laps. And obviously we don't stop in these ones because obviously the laps are so short on these. You don't need to stop for tyres, so you have to look after them. So they will naturally be slightly slower. But anyway, I knew I was quicker than him because we all set a quali time, and our quali times, I was obviously qualified second and he was way down the field. As you can see from the fact that, in a number of corners, I'm right on his tail now. Now, another thing to be aware of as well is that if you know you are quicker around this track than someone else, you have to be very, very aware that. So just watching, make sure we give each other enough space. Perfect. We're both giving each other loads of room, probably too much room, actually. He could come across to me and pinch me out a little bit more. He would have got a better line through there, but instead he gave it to me, so I'm going to hang it on the outside. And then we go. But anyway. Yes, if you know you're quicker than the car in front, if you know that, you can brake later going into a corner with that person, you need to adjust your braking points, because obviously if they brake earlier and they're in front of you and you brake when you normally brake, then yeah, you know, that's going to cause issues. Now, I should have been speaking about that switchback there, because I knew that he was going to allow me to draft him, and then he was going to, you know, I was going to overtake, and then he was going to go down the right-hand side of me. I knew he was going to do that, and I knew that he wouldn't be able to make that turn at the speed that he was travelling at, which is why I managed to brake slightly earlier and cut back. And it was close. I don't think you could have fit a fag paper in between them, in between my bumper and his bumper. But yeah, now I'm way ahead now. So yeah, so as I was saying, you need to adjust your brake points, because obviously you don't want to hit anyone, you don't want to ram people off the track. You've waited nearly an hour or so to join the race, for instance, plus qualifying time and practice laps and all the rest of it. It's a long time to wait to ruin yours and someone else's race. But yeah, so that's us coming across the, well, we've come across the line for 6th place, which wasn't too bad for a recovery drive, considering that I didn't keep my cool. It's the long and short of it. Now we're just letting the car cool down. I don't know why I bother letting the car cool down, but usually because I'm giving an outro. But I filmed this in VR, and OBS decided that my VR position was looking out the left window. So in iRacing, I was looking out the windscreen and my steering wheel, but according to OBS, I was looking out my left window. So there was a lovely view of the left-hand side of the car for the whole race. So that's why I decided to make this video as well into, you know, impart some knowledge. And if there's anything you guys want me to, you know, go over again, do a separate video for, let me know and I will do that. But no, thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I imparted some wisdom to you, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.